So when I came into Juicebox, I saw exactly what was going on, how the ascension worked. And I'm like, wow, this is the vision I had for my organization.
Well, folks, I am here with Trevor. The reason that we're having this call is because you, my friend, are our agent of the month in November 2024. So just a huge congratulations to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
For the folks that are going to be watching this, like, why was Trevor chosen? And it's this whole team decision in terms of how we come up with who the agent of the month is. And Trevor, you're just somebody who, the entire team that kind of shared, you've got this mantra around just doing it. You show up, you engage in sales coaching calls, you get cases planned, you show up with lists of cases. You're really well prepared for that. You're closing business, and you're really focused on the process and getting better, and really making this a lifelong career. So because of that, what I'd like to do, if you don't mind, is let's go back to the beginning. I think you've been with us about a year, right? You started in our agentship program, and you moved into some of our annuity marketing. You became a partner agent as well. And so before you kind of joined Juicebox, do you remember, like, what was the big problem in your business that led you to us?
So yeah, again, thank you for having me on the call. Thanks for the honor of being agent of the month. That's amazing. I know it's a huge team and a lot of great people out there that are doing some really good things. So that's very humbling. Thank you. Just to kind of back up on my story, I've been in financial services for a very long time, got out of the business for a little bit and got back into the business around 2016. I was doing the business, doing mortgage protection, life insurance, going door to door, driving a car, flying all around the country between Portland, Oregon, Eastern Washington, Phoenix, Arizona, and you name it, and on a lead system. So being a business owner, what was really important to me is, one, having more leads in time, not doing the friends and family warm market, but really bringing that in where I could have people sitting down that have conversations that you could qualify them and get them to do a presentation to solve a problem for them. So that was my introduction to the business. The big picture, what I wanted to get into was money management, being financial advising. So come 2020, come around, things change a lot, right? All of a sudden, I'm driving to Eastern Washington and I'm talking to a buddy of mine, and he goes, "Hey man, this whole pandemic thing, it's crazy. I heard San Francisco just closed down." I'm like, "Yeah, this could be a really big deal." So I'm in Eastern Washington doing business on a Wednesday. By Friday, there's literally tumbleweeds in the street. Everybody gone inside. All meetings are off. This is the first time in 4 years that I've had really any time off because I was this pedal to the metal. So I go back to Oregon, hunker down, and I'm like, what are we gonna do, right? And I said, you know what? Why not just sell virtually? I can just imagine that I'm talking to somebody like I'm talking to you, Jerry, right now. Like I'm imagining you're sitting right across from me, right? And so at that time, it was a really good opportunity because people needed to tie up loose ends and they had a lot of free time too. So we're off to the races, and that was in 2020, got into virtual selling, doing mortgage protection, life insurance. So fast forward to today and Juicebox. So how did I find Juicebox? A lot of changes in the business, a lot of changes in virtual selling, a lot of changes in the mortgage market, obviously. So it was time to make that next jump to money management, why I originally got into the business. And that comes in the form of IULs, it comes in the form of annuities, it comes in the form of assets under management. So there was a big certification that I just recently finished. That was a big deal to me that I really wanted to get going. And so when I came into Juicebox, I saw exactly what was going on, how the ascension worked. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, rewind the clock to, 1998 when I had my credit card processing business. This is the vision I had for my organization right when they were starting to do internet sales. And I can see what Jim and Brian and Jared and the rest of the team were doing. I'm like, this is exactly how I'd have an ascension ladder. Bringing people on, giving value, giving the tools that are different that you don't see in the industry, which we talked about, which might be just having a cell phone number of your upline and calling on a 911, right? And that's how you learn the business. So there's actually tools, systems, value in place that got me really excited. And the support, the big part is the support with the team. So coming aboard, I quickly realized, one, going back to that thing, I need more leads in time. So I'm just smart enough to get myself in trouble doing my own Facebook marketing before. And you know what? Like my job serves me getting in front of customers and talking to clients, not trying to also learn how to do all the marketing. I can do that, but it was quickly kind of getting me to a different course. So hung out in Juicebox, hung out in Agent Shift, saw what was going on, saw Agent Shift Plus, saw the partner program. Right away, it just made sense. All my values were aligned for what's going on with Juicebox and the people and what I saw. And that's enough that I had to see, right? That's all I had to see. And I was all in at that point.
Do you remember, I don't know if you'll know the answer to this question, but do you remember, how did you even find Juicebox in the first place? Was it an ad or YouTube video or a friend, or what was that connection point?
Well, I was doing my own marketing online on Facebook. So an IUL ad popped up because I'd become I'd watch other people's copy just to see what's going on and see what's out there to tweak my own copy out there. So I saw Jim talking about, hey, take my script. So I came in and I go, oh man, I know what he's doing. He's going to funnel me in. I'm going to get down the rabbit hole. Well, I got a lot of great value on it. And so I was coming in with an open mind at the same time, knowing that things were good. And I've had a lot of success in the business. But again, going back to what we're saying, it was time for me to turn the page. So that's a big leap of faith. And anybody that are industry veterans knowing, if you're going from mortgage protection, life insurance, express issue life insurance to money management, that is a whole nother career, right? It's a whole nother set of skills. And so that's originally why I got into the business, and the time is now. And so there was alignment. That's what I'm saying.
So you saw an ad for a script, and then you came in, and I'm sure you talked to somebody on the sales team and, kind of learned a little bit more about what we do. Do you remember having any kind of skepticism? I think that's kind of normal, right? Like, did you have any skepticism when you were kind of going through that process, or did you just dive in because you felt like that value alignment was there?
Oh, 100%. I'm a serial entrepreneur, so being a business owner, what you have to understand is you're going to have expenses in a business, right? So I see some people that come into the business that understand that. Scott is a good example of a gentleman that I met on the Juicebox universe that's like that gets that. And then there's other agents that understand that, where maybe they just want to be a solopreneur, and the expense part of it, of bringing into it, doesn't really make sense yet. So I tried some other programs, and let's just to say it was disappointing. So to jump into another program to make a commitment, a financial commitment, yeah, sure. I wanted to make sure that it was right, but I've been doing this for enough time that you can dot your I's and cross your T's, but it really just goes down to that gut level decision. And like I said, the people, the team, the environment, the support, at that point, it's like, hey, there's nothing else to check out. Let's just get it done.
So I'm wondering if you can compare and contrast. You don't need to name those programs, but some of that past experience that you had, I think some people can have that, like, oh, I've been burned, and so I'm not going to, move forward with anything else. Can you kind of compare and contrast your experience with Juicebox to some of those other programs? It sounded like you were kind of let down and disappointed.
A lot of it is, you're being overpromised and underdelivered. So there's a lot of these tools and these sort of things that people have the right idea, right? But the alignment's not there for what they need to do. And so it goes back to the same thing, where I'm going to give you this tool, which it might be a CRM or an ad, and hey, just go to work and do the thing. But a lot of people don't understand that sales and marketing are two different subsets and are two different skills. You can do that, but really when you're going down and peeling the layers on the minutia, right? If you don't have somebody kind of showing you how to do it, you got to learn it on your own. So trying to collapse that time frame, and that's what I saw with Juicebox and the other programs. It was just get you in the door. You're just another sale. Here you go. Here's your value, your tools. Good luck. Text me when you need something, or get in a Slack group, right? So, and that was it.
Trevor, speaking to somebody on the other side who's maybe had some of those similar experiences of being overpromised and underdelivered, what do you say about your experience with Juicebox? Do you feel the same or different?
Number one, we get you, right, Jared? So
that's a negative.
That's a positive. I mean, the whole way through, like from Jennifer to Amanda to yourself to Jim taking the time he does multiple times a day to go on there and do that. All the support is there. And again, I go back to a lot of the support systems will be like, hey, just shoot me a message on Slack. That sounds great, but in theory, when you're doing that, somebody's not going to be by their phone 24/7 when you need you, right? So Jim and Juicebox and the team have already developed that in the program, in the school and the tools. So I saw that, right? All that's there. And then when you do it and want to implement it, you're there for support. Yes, we're in a virtual environment. I get it. But as far as a virtual environment, this is great. And so going back and seeing those things and being skeptical or being on the fence, that's totally normal, right? But as I tell people before, it's like Missouri. Missouri is called the show me state. And I feel like Juicebox did that for me in the first 30 days. They showed me the value that I needed to be where I feel like, hey, this is where I want to plant my flag and be successful.
Well, we're so grateful to have you. And it's also so great, you mentioned the virtual environment. Well, we also had the wonderful opportunity to build a in-person connection in Nashville just a few months ago that I know I really valued. So if you could, let's transition a bit of a segue here. Talking to somebody in Agent Shift, right? Because you made this transition from entrepreneur to mortgage protection and now into financial services, IUL and annuity. So, and of course, assets under management as well. But for somebody who's in Agent Shift right now, Trevor, and they say, I want to move up, I want to move on to marketing and further. What advice do you give to that person? Because you've already kind of been through that.
The advice I would say is all action alleviates anxiety 100% of the time. What I mean is somebody might be considering it, they're waiting for the timing to be right, for it to be after the election, after the first of the year. Hey, I'll start on Monday. Those are all things that are normal and everybody, you just got to jump in there and do it, right? So the tools are there in Agent Shift, but if you want to go to Agent Shift Plus or be partners, jump in and do it. You're not going to be disappointed. You're already in Agent Shift. You're already looking at what they're doing. You're there because there's value. What I can tell you 100% is if you see the value in the beginning of the program in Agent Shift, there's only going to be tons more value later. So don't take my word for it. Don't take Jared's word for it. Just go out there and jump into it. Alleviate that anxiety and jump into it. And of course, just like Mike Milligan says, you got to do the work. So that is one of the keys to success from somebody that's a $100 million producer, is putting in the work and the time.
In terms of all of the tools that you have access to, right? You mentioned scripts and forecasting tools, financial planning tools, and presentations and coaching calls and case planning and design and illustration support. And, kind of the list goes on there. What do you think is the most important tool or resource for you that's led to success for you?
All the technical tools are great, right? Let's just call them widgets. Let's just call the CRM a widget, the forecaster a widget. Those are all things in somebody, if there's a carpenter, in your toolbox, your hammer, your screwdriver, that sort of thing. Those are great, and you can get lost in the weeds wanting to learn all that stuff. Honestly, I've been in the business for a long time and I understand how insurance products works, annuities works, and I'm contracted with several annuity companies through partners. I can't really tell you more than one or two products. And the reason why is because my focus isn't on trying to learn how every widget works or every product works, but just taking somebody through the process of what we need to do. So that's where the value lies, is understanding the process, where you can take somebody that, like a Mike Milligan, that is a $100 million producer, and you guys have peeled back his process and shown, okay, great, this is what you need to do. You need to go through these steps to do it. And if you do it, stay consistent and work hard on the support's there, but we'll get you to the finish line. And that's the process that I'm in the middle of right now.
Trevor, thank you for sharing your story. Congratulations on Agent of the Month. And please keep it up, and we'll see you at the next Grove.
Right on. Thanks, Jared. Thank you and the team.